Hi, it's Norman Kochannek here, and I'm here to talk to you about some feedback and comments that have been made again on my YouTube channel, Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochannek. There's been a lot of questions asked about weather. We've talked about the team makeups, we've talked about the situation with Steve Smith, Tim Payne, both the so-called racial discussions about the racial slurs, the racial abuse. But let's talk about, unfortunately I need to talk about myself because many people have been asking about my background. And yes, my name is Norman Kochannek, you know that. I'm living in Sydney, Australia. Actually, Coogee Beach is the location, a lovely beachside area of Sydney. Not very far from Randwick, which is the Randwick end of the SCG, so I'm not very far away from that famous ground. I have been involved with cricket for most of my life. I've played cricket. I've also coached cricket. I actually manage up to around about 20 girls who play internationally at certain stages. The likes of Shripali Wirakoti, Nalakshya Silva. I've also had Ramana Ahmed. There's also Rebecca Van Dort and Napuni Hansika. These girls have all played for international countries, have a lot to do with countries like Sri Lanka. And the reason why I've got a lot to do with Sri Lanka is I was actually married to a Sri Lankan for some 14 years, and hence my connection to Sri Lanka. India is even more special to me because I have a large number of the Indian media that are very close to me for the last 15 years. I've taken care of the likes of and been involved with Buri Majunda, Debashis Sen, Kuntal Chakraborty, Gautam. There's a whole range of people that I've actually had a lot to do with, both from India and India itself, and Dinaka from Chennai, people from Mumbai, Kolkata, all over in fact, and I've been there to India a number of times, as well as been to the likes of Bangladesh, Malaysia, UAE, and obviously Sri Lanka many times, but also definitely India, and it's one of my favourite places to go. So my involvement in cricket has been for the last 15 years in terms of media. The last 10 years in particular, I've done a lot of work and travelled the international circuit, but I'm obviously Australian, but I have German background, but I'm Australian, and have played for the Sydney Cricket Ground, the SCG 11, which is a team that represents the SCG membership, and we've travelled the world to the likes of England on a number of Ashes tours, the likes of India. We've done a tour there, had a magnificent time, taken up to Amritsar as well, Delhi, and also Mumbai. But yes, I have a great association with cricket. I'm very lucky to have hosted a show called Through the Eyes of a Cricketer, that is Through the Eyes of a Cricketer. And I interviewed some 30 legends, but ex-players from the likes of Jeff Thompson, the likes of Doug Walters, Greg Chappell, Adam Hollyoake from England, Barry Knight, who was a great English player, actually a great English coach in the end as well. Here in Australia, he coached quite a bit. Jeff Lawson, Len Pascoe, John Dyson, the list goes on. I've had the pleasure of having a company of Neil Harvey, an an ex-player, incredible legend. In fact, the only living person to have played for or against or with Don Bradman. So he was a part of the 1948 Invincibles. That's Neil Harvey, significant man. He's now 92 and still doing fantastically well. Arthur Morris before he passed away, Alan Davidson, he's still alive. Bobby Simpson's still alive. These people I've had a lot to do with. Also from a commentary perspective, Jim Maxwell, Catherine McGregor on a TV show recently on Sky News here in Australia called Inside the News, which I had the pleasure of working with her on that. I've been very fortunate to have a number of the people that are currently involved with media. Melinda Farrell, she's a great, she worked for ESPN, obviously Cricinfo, the likes of Jared Kimber, who worked for that company too. So I'm very fortunate to have come across these people throughout my time. And had a great relationship with them, and that was certainly something that I adore. Now I had the opportunity through Debashis Sen from Extra Time, Buri Majunda from Sports Today, ABP News with Kuntal Chakraborty, and the likes of people involved with Times of India, and also partly with Sports Tech, but not much, but also a number of other organisations. Even in India Today, I've had some involvement there. So my coverage has been quite wide. I'm very fortunate now to be a part of the Indian press gallery, one of very few people that have been here throughout the Test series and the One Day and T20 series because of COVID-19, of course. But I see that my role will continue, and I hope to engage you and bring you into play, answer your questions, provide your feedback, get to know you. I've gotten to know quite a few already. They've been fantastic with their feedback, and I'm more than happy to do special stories. I've done a lot of stories on the SCG, on the MCG, on Adelaide Oval, Barrel, which is a must-do for everyone to go on. So I would recommend you come to Australia, do the SCG tour, go to Barrel, go to 52 Shepherd Street, which is an amazing place where Don Bradman actually lived. If you look through my videos, you'll see that video is there in depth. Adelaide Oval, amazing history there with the Victor, Richards and Gates, and also the involvement with Bradman's home for some 65 years in Adelaide, so it's an added aspect of it as well. But SCG is my favourite by far. I've been lucky enough to play on the SCG, on the MCG myself. I've been able to also play at Lords with a tour, the SCG 11 tour, the Sydney Cricket Ground 11 that represents the team. So it's been a fantastic journey for me, and I hope it continues. So again, stay tuned to my channel. I'll bring you up-to-date reports for the 4th test, which is about to start. And beyond that, you've got the series between England and Sri Lanka, which is on now. You also have England and India, and deep down the Ashes, which will happen at the end of the year. I'm hoping to follow that right through with you and my channel, and we'll take you to a lot of different locations, hopefully without COVID preventing me, and we'll make sure that you get great coverage. And I'll bring great guests onto the show, the likes of Jim Maxwell, which I've already done. I'm hoping to bring Monty Panesar, the likes of Jeff Thompson, Doug Walters, and people you can name. I'll approach and I'll get them onto the channel as well. You give me some interaction, you let me know what you want, and I will give it to you. Norman Kochannek here for Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochannek.